Good morning, everybody. My name is Elodie Chaplain, and I'm one of the licensed massage therapists here in town in Bellingham. I work at two places. I work at Bloom Massage, which is therapeutic and prenatal. We do relaxation therapy, prenatal massage. It's a nice mix of massage, and also Prime Sports Institute. So those two places in town. The massage gift certificate will be for Bloom. So I'll end up giving my contact information at the end, and we can just coordinate that way to set up that massage for the winner. I have my bachelor's degree in health and exercise science, and that's really where my fascination with anatomy began. And then in 2012, I got a really debilitating back injury that lasted for about 3 years that I just couldn't quite figure out between physical therapy and some chiropractor. And it was a massage therapist actually in 2015 who helped me heal that back injury. That felt pretty miraculous actually. And that was my introduction, and my sort of decision helped influence my decision to become a massage therapist, because I wanted to help make that sort of difference for people as well. So today I wanted to talk about the benefits of massage, what you can do from home for self-massage, and then also what we are doing in massage therapy offices and locations to help to minimize the risk, because we are still in the midst of this COVID pandemic. So again, as questions come up, putting those in those chats, and then Elena can help to moderate that and let me know what questions you may have, but feel free to jump in as you have questions. So to get started, I liked the kind of brief summary that I found on the Mayo Clinic. They have really kind of boiled it down to massage findings that massage can be a very effective treatment for reducing stress, reducing pain, and reducing muscle tension. And within this, there's a lot of different aspects to it. I really liked Rebecca's chat. So all the August chats, I loved watching those. I'm very honored to be a part of the people to let's talk about this, and her talk about the parasympathetic nervous system versus the sympathetic nervous system, that accelerator versus the brake. One of the ways that massage can be really beneficial is to help to really boost that parasympathetic, so that brake, that rest and digest system, versus the fight and flight that we tend to be in stressful situations. There was a 2004 meta-analysis that was done. So it looked at a whole bunch of studies that had been done. They looked at 37 different studies and found some really interesting things in that as well. With one single application of massage, they found that it could decrease state anxiety, blood pressure, and heart rate. And state anxiety, this was new to me, state anxiety versus trait anxiety. So state anxiety is like a temporary reaction. So it's our psychological, physiological reaction to a stress. And massage can help with that with just one session. What they found with long-term application of massage, so multiple sessions of massage, they found, I've got my little cheat here, so cheat sheet here. So excuse every once in a while to make sure I've got it all right, that I'm giving you this information. But they found that massage, multiple applications of massage, had similar benefit to psychotherapy, and that it could help decrease trait anxiety and depression. So trait anxiety is more, if you think about people you know, and some may be more low-key, kind of laid back, and then some people might just be a little more kind of high-strung by nature. That's the trait anxiety, and that massage can actually help with that also. But it does need to be more than one session for that. I also found a study I found really interesting that was in 2019. That was a systematic review. They looked at 7 different studies, and what they did, they threw out a net. They wanted to find what benefits massage had for osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And with the specific criteria they were looking for, it boiled down to just 7 studies. So it wasn't a whole lot of studies, but they looked at these 7 studies. And what was interesting, and what made it a bit of an eye-opening experience for me also in my search for research, because when Tammy suggested this idea to have a talk about benefits of massage, I was like, yeah, that's great. I'd love to chat about benefits of massage. What's some of the newest research? And in looking through a whole bunch of research that's been done, what I found is that our research has definitely improved especially in the last 10 to 15 years, there's a lot more of it. But I do want to give the disclaimer here that it still does need work. So a lot of the studies don't have enough participants to have significant, like statistically significant differences, or there's bias involved, which bias can be hard because you can't have a control group. You can't have people not know that they did or didn't receive a massage. So there are some limitations, but you could have assessors that are blinded. But anyways, there's basically work that can still be done to have higher quality studies, because in the 2019 study where they looked at the 7 studies, they found that only 2 of the 7 were what they considered high quality. And to judge that, they used something called the Pedro scale, and they look at 10 different variables. Like, okay, well, did the study do this? And check boxes, you know, what was somebody blinded? And with all those variables, only 2 of the 7 were considered high quality. And what that means is that they found that there was evidence that massage helped to decrease pain. It helped improve range of motion. It helped with perceived grip strength. So those are great, but they were only able to call it low quality evidence rather than high quality evidence. So just something to be aware of as we're looking at the research. Definitely anecdotally, there's a whole lot of strong evidence, but our research for massage therapy and consistent benefits still has some room for improvement, but we're going the right direction. So I'm appreciative of that. In terms of why massage works, there were 2 things I wanted to touch on with that. And one kind of goes back to the Mayo Clinic finding of helping to decrease pain. So we have something called the pain gate theory. And with that, the concept is that our neurons, our nerves that send signals for pain to the brain, they send signals less quickly than some of our other neurons that send signals. So we've got neurons that send pain signals, some that pick up pressure, tickle, touch, light touch versus deeper pressure. We have all these different kinds of neurons. And this doesn't work for all kinds of pain, but for certain kinds of pain, we can override that pain signal by applying a different stimulus. So for example, this is my favorite easy example. You get a paper cut, right? And what do? Automatically, we just hold that spot. And what we're doing, maybe without realizing it, is we are applying a different kind of sensation. So when I hold my hand, I'm applying a pressure, and my brain becomes more aware of that pressure sensation than that sharp pain from the paper cut. So massage can be beneficial in that sense of whatever the pain is that you're feeling when you come in for a massage. We, as massage therapists, as we apply our hands and we're applying pressure and manipulating, and we do all our soft tissue work, we can help to override that pain signal that's going to the brain. It's like a little analogy for this is 2 train tracks. So you have one neuron that's sending your pain, another neuron that's sending just pressure. And when you get to the spinal cord, it's only going to take one of those signals. So 2 train tracks that have to merge into one. And it's the pressure that's going to have the right of way, that's going to take priority with that. So that's the pain gate theory model that kind of applies to benefits of massage that way. And the other is sort of both a cause and kind of the benefit of it. We can help to decrease muscle hypertension. So Eric had mentioned, you know, kind of this forward posture that we have. And it's so true, especially in our 21st century world. So many of us are very forward facing, head forward. We're at our computers, we're driving, all of the things. And with that, then everything in front gets locked short. So these muscles shorten up. And what happens in the back is that, say, our shoulder blades are supposed to be, here's neutral, but if I'm here, the muscles that are pulling my shoulder blades together, those end up getting pulled long. And so they get what's called locked long. And both of those cases, whether a muscle is locked short or locked long, it's going to create discomfort and pain. And so with massage, we can help to relax those muscles. So help to shorten up the ones that are locked long and help to lengthen out the ones that are locked short. And so that contributes both to the pain relief and then just having a little better range of motion, because we can get some of that release in hypertension. So how does this apply to you at home? What can you do at home? And so both of those apply, right? If you are able to provide your body with a different type of sensation, that can help with that pain gate theory. And then as far as the muscle tension goes, you can get some benefit with that as well. So I've got a tennis ball, I know that with Carolyn's chat, she had talked about a half tennis ball. So if you got a half tennis ball during that chat or after that chat, that's great. Just about everything that we are going to do with the full tennis ball, you could modify and do with the half tennis ball. I just have the full because that's what I happen to have. And I figured it was easy. If somebody doesn't have a tennis ball right now, you can procure yourself one quite readily. So this is going to be our tool for today. And there's two main things I want you to think about when you're doing self-massage. The first one is part of our word of the day. I decided to have a word of the day today. And the word of the day is Thixotrophy. And it's a fantastic word. I love it. It was new to me. I didn't know that Thixotrophy existed until I was in massage school. But that word, and I'll type it out. I realize I don't have my chat on, but I'll turn it on real quick and just let you see Thixotrophy. Except I made it to private rather than everyone. Okay, here we go. We're gonna there we go, Thixotrophy. So that word, basically it means that something has the property to become more liquid when stress is applied. So for our body, that relates to our connective tissue and what's called a ground substance. So between all of our cells, we're all interconnected. All of our cells are interconnected. We have this ground substance and it has this property. So whether that stress is, say, a mechanical pressure, whether that's a stress with a tennis ball that you're pressing in, whether that's heat, what it means is that our bodies are going to be more pliable and more receptive after these stresses are applied. And if we can help it to be more pliable first, that's the big win. So because of this thixotropy property, what I want you to think about is the best time to do self-massage is when your body is warm. So you've already got that ground substance. If it's more in that gel, more solid state, if you can heat your body first, you're gonna have more pliable, soft tissue, and you'll get more benefit out of the self-massage. So that could be taking a bath first, taking a shower first, so that you've heated up in that. It can be exercise, like just going for a walk first. That's a great way to warm up your body. So just having a way to warm yourself up first is gonna be more beneficial than doing it cold. And the second thing is, if you're able to keep your muscle, whatever the soft tissue is, we'll be doing our hand for part of it, staying more relaxed so that your connective tissue, your muscle that we are working in isn't taut and tense. If you picture a rubber band and you put tension on it and lengthen it, it's gonna be tauter, right, than when you just have it relaxed. And so we want our muscles less taut and more relaxed so that we can really work into each of the different muscles that we'll be targeting. So something to be aware of, especially when we do the hand, it's really easy to start to tense up, and it's not bad by any means. You won't be doing anything wrong. You won't be hurting yourself by any means, but it just won't be quite as beneficial. It won't be as optimal as keeping your body a little more relaxed. So with that being said, let's jump into it. I've got 4 different body parts that we're gonna work and then link back to kind of why and when you would do these. First one is the foot. Quick warning, if you get motion sickness easily, I'm gonna be moving my computer a bit to position myself so you can see things. So you might wanna avert your eyes for a moment while I move the camera. So here's some movement. We're gonna go down to the ground. And here we go. All right. So with the foot, what I'm talking about for the tension, notice here my foot is tensed and now I've relaxed it. So we want to just be rolling the foot. Best position for this is to be seated in a chair. So you can be just nice and comfortable sitting in a chair, having your foot underneath you. Place that tennis ball underneath your foot, and you just want to be rolling from the heel of your foot about to that ball of the foot. So you get just the nice full length of the foot, nice and slow and steady. you want to try to get to that outer edge of the foot, back and forth, all the way to the inner edge of your foot. My tennis ball is disappearing as I go to that inner edge. But spending, I'm going to move the camera again. Whoop. Here we go. Spending a couple of minutes per foot can be really beneficial. And again, keeping that foot as relaxed as possible. There should be no pain. This should feel really good. Just a nice self-massage. Again, if you've got that half tennis ball, just having that on the ground and moving your foot over that, getting that stimulation for the foot, as Carolyn was talking about. But a very positive, pleasant feeling from the self-massage for the foot. If you're looking to go a little deeper, you could get to that very cusp of like uncomfortable, like, okay, yep, that feels a little uncomfortable, but definitely not painful. So overall, this should feel good. Now, one thing I want to make connections on is how interconnected our bodies are. So all of our muscles are surrounded by connective tissue. And so each individual muscle fiber is connected by this surrounded by this connective tissue, and then into bigger until we get to the whole muscle. That's surrounded by connective tissue, and then that will spread out and attach into the bones, right? So we've got our tendons that connect our muscles to bones, and they're not these isolated muscles in our bodies. They're all connected depending where they attach bone to bone. So when you roll the bottoms of your feet, not only is it really beneficial for your feet, but it's beneficial for the whole line of the back. So there's been a lot of research that's been done on this, and what they found, there's a brilliant man named Thomas Myers. I've got the book here in case you're interested in this. Thomas Myers wrote a book called Anatomy Trains, and it's fascinating. If you like this kind of stuff, I am full-blown anatomy nerd, and so I adore this. He does use some pretty technical language, so if you have no experience with anatomy, this book might not be quite as enjoyable. But if you've got some of that baseline of anatomy and you're interested in this, he maps out 12 lines that run through our body and how and where they're interconnected. So when we roll the bottoms of our feet with our tennis ball, the bottoms of the feet connect right at the heel. Then we've got that Achilles tendon that comes up, connects to the calves, connects to the hamstrings, comes up the sacrum on a ligament that then connects to the back muscles that run parallel to our spine. Those will connect up at the base of our skull. We've got a muscle at the base of our skull, connective tissue comes around, and we have a muscle at the top of our forehead here that attaches to our eyebrow line. And that's called your superficial back line. So that's all connected through this connective tissue linkage. And the bottoms of the feet, rolling those feet, can help you with tight hamstrings. It can help with low back pain because, again, of that interconnectedness. So if you release some of the tension in the bottoms of the feet, it can be helpful for tight hamstrings and low back pain. Number 2 is the hands that I wanted to show you. So with your hands, you want a towel just to help your tennis ball stay in place a little bit more. And then again, we're going to go down some. Here we go. All right. So with your tennis ball and your hand, you can just place your hand on that tennis ball, roll around. This is, again, where we want to try to stay relaxed versus tense. Rolling around both directions. If it doesn't feel like much, you can take your other hand on top and press in a little more so that you get a little bit more pressure. You want to make sure to get into the fingers also. So the palm side of your fingers, getting into the fingers, getting into the fascia of the hands. And if we think about what our hands do most of the day when we're holding things or carrying grocery bags, picking things up, we're always closing our fingers in and bringing the muscles and the fascia in. So what can be really beneficial is if we work the opposite. So if you start from your wrist and you work outwards towards your fingers, that can be really helpful for helping to release some of the tension. So working from your wrist, working outwards, getting those fingers, and again, the circles. This can be really helpful if you have tightness in your hands, pain in your hands, forearms also that, again, the link it links all the way to the front of your shoulder here. So we have 4 different arm lines, in fact, and 2 of them will be on that front side at the hand and connecting all the way up. So pain in the front shoulder, pain in the forearms, could have some benefit and relief from rolling the hands. So that is number 2. Number 3, we're gonna do the glutes. So for the glutes, you wanna take your tennis ball. I'm gonna move the camera again, so bear with me or look away for a moment. You'll be standing for this one. And I'd recommend being up against like a corner, having a wall as well handy if you're not feeling super comfortable with balance. And if standing by a wall doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can always do this laying on a bed, and I'll give you that modification in a moment. But the way you find these muscles will be the same. So it's the top of the pelvic bone, which can be found a couple ways. One, if you can feel, usually in the front, that's the bit of the bone that sticks out the most. So you can feel that bony protrusion, it'll come around the back. And we want to be just below that pelvic bone. If that feels weird to find, what you can always do, find your belly button in the front, follow that belly button around to the back, and then you want to be a couple inches below that, basically taking your tennis ball and placing it in the soft part, that gluteal area. This is going to get the glute max and gluteus medius, and you just want to place that tennis ball in the soft tissue. If it feels like you're somewhere hard, you're probably on a bone, and so just move that tennis ball so that you are on a nice soft part of your body. And then we're going to go just side to side with this, keeping it in that nice soft area. When we get more to the center of your body, you're going to feel that sacrum, that bones will be there. So just kind of using that as your border when it gets solid on the inside central part of your body, and then coming out to the outside. And again, to relax that muscle the most, this is where you can use that other wall if you're in a corner, to put more of your weight on the leg that doesn't have the tennis ball. And if you take some of the weight off of the side that has the tennis ball, you can relax those glute muscles a little bit more, and again, just get a little deeper into that space. So that's gonna be for the glutes. I'm gonna move the camera again. If standing up doesn't feel very comfortable for you, leaning up against that wall, you can always do this on a bed, laying down. The bed will probably absorb the tennis ball a little bit too much that you won't feel it, but give it a try to begin. And if you don't feel anything, you can put a book underneath the tennis ball to make that a little more distinctive, to feel that there. The last bit to let you know about the standing wall, you want to start off about 6 inches with your heels, about 6 inches away from the wall, so that you're nice and upright. What's beautiful about using the wall to do this is that you choose how much pressure you apply. So if you want a little more pressure, you can step away from the wall a little bit more and lean a little bit more of your body weight into the ball to get a little bit more pressure as you go. But that's totally individual. You choose how much pressure you want. And then our last one is for the quads. And for the quads, but I forgot to tell you why the glutes. So glutes can be great. We have a couple of lines that run through the glutes. There's a lateral line, there's a functional line that uses glutes. And with the glutes, with releasing that, if you have hip pain, working in the glutes can be really helpful, and also for low back pain. So those would be times you'd want to use the tennis ball in the glute area. And the quads, I'm particularly going to have you focusing on the border of your IT band, which runs just on the side of the quads. Here we go. If you have pain at your knee, working in the quads can be really beneficial. This can kind of be a 2-in-1, which is lovely. So you can get your hand massage at the same time as your quads. Sitting in your chair, keeping the muscle nice and relaxed. You can do circles here. You can do, again, if you want more pressure, you can use both hands to press that tennis ball down. And then one thing too, if you have 2 tennis balls, you can do both at the same time. Totally up to you. And if you want, you're really targeting that knee pain, the IT band runs along the outside of your thigh here. So if you just go kind of on the diagonal edge of the front of your thigh and the side, we don't want to be on the total front or the total side. We want to be right on that diagonal kind of border there. Using that tennis ball and doing little circles. For most people, this area is going to be a little bit more sensitive, but that's an area that's really helpful to help break up adhesions from the quadriceps and that IT band. So right along that diagonal border for quads, IT band there, and then to help with knee pain. All right, last time I'm moving the camera. Bring you back up here. Okay, so those are the 4 self-massage techniques I wanted to show you, or 4 body areas that can benefit from some self-massage. If you are interested in getting a massage, going somewhere to get a massage, it's 100% great. If you want to call them and find out exactly what they're doing. Every place might have like just slightly different protocols, but I'll give you the 7 things that we are doing at Bloom to take as much precaution as possible with the pandemic. So first thing, basically every place in town has done an extra 15 minutes for cleaning. So whatever people used to do between session times, we've all added 15 minutes, and it gives us the time to really thoroughly clean and sanitize and disinfect any surface that people have touched or clothing has touched. We have staggered start times. So you'll only have 1 person in the waiting area at a time. So we don't have, 2 people in a small area. Everyone coming into the office, both the therapists and the clients, we take their oxygen saturation and their temperature, just a little screening to make sure we watch for any symptoms of that sort that might come in, because what we're looking for in our massage office is to keep out anybody who might have COVID. So we also send out a questionnaire 24 hours in advance. It's an email that gets sent out that asks people certain screening questions to make sure they're safe to come into the office. The clients wear masks the whole time, even when they're face down. So what we have is we ask you to come in with a face covering, and then we have surgical masks that are just a little bit lighter and easier to breathe through when you're face down in the face cradle. So that is our protection. And then for therapists, we all wear the K95 masks. And so that is, it's like an N95, but it isn't sealed as tightly to the face. And so that's our mask protection. We wear eye protection with goggles, and then we have a different apron for every patient. So anything that might touch our clothing, we have a different apron that we put on for every client. Let's see, did I get to them? I made my list to make sure that I would get everything that we have changed. So those are the things we've updated, and then we still have the usual thorough hand washing before and after a session, and the professional linen cleaning services. So we've stopped using blankets with the COVID. So if you do get cold and you do want to bring your own blanket in, that is something that is a possibility. So that covers everything that I wanted to let you know about for benefits, precautions we're doing, self-massage you can do at home, whatever is most comfortable for you. And now let's see if there are any questions. Oh, and it's about 9:45. That it always does go way too fast.
Yeah, real quick, you do have a quick question from Joan. Do you wear gloves during your massage?
Excellent question. So we at Bloom, we don't wear gloves. We do the hand washing and hand sanitizing. At Prime Sports Institute, we do wear the gloves. So that is one that there have been recommendations through the Washington State Washington State Massage Therapy Association, and their stance has been, by going through CDC and OSHA, that we can maintain the protocols we had. So if there's any potential like open skin or any problems of that nature, then we would definitely do the gloves. But as far as regular sessions at Bloom, we have gloves available if a client would be more comfortable if we wear gloves. But it can definitely be beneficial to have just the heat of the hand. So that is our change there.
Okay. Is there any more questions you guys want to put in the chat?
Oh, yes, the author, yes. Let me type that out in the chat. So it is Anatomy Trains by Thomas Myers.
And I will add that to the recording information as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really fascinating book. Talks about all our myofascia, all the properties of myofascia, and what we've learned has been, it's pretty mind-blowing to me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Elodie. That was
My
fantastic.
pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I hope you all have a terrific class, and we'll see you next time.